Hey guys, my name is Vinay. Welcome to Project Vinay. Today is 6th February 2026 and I'm recording this journey till I reach my goals. My goal is to build my own personal brand, to build my own empire, to build my own business, and to build my own, to improve my communication skills. So currently, we are reading book. So we are reading the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and yesterday we read till page number 60, and we are going to start from there where we left. And this is part 5, I guess, of reading a book. So let's start. So you are never going to get rich retiring out your time, renting out your time. Whenever you can, whenever you can in life, optimize for independent rather than pay. If you have independence and you are accountable on your outputs, as obsessed to your inputs, that's the dream. Human evolves in society where there were no leverage. If I was chopping wood or carrying logs for you, you even 8 hours put in the would be equal to the 8 hours of output. Now we are immensely leverage. There, do capital, uh, cooperation, technology, production, all these means we live in an age of leverage. As a worker, you want to be as leveraged as possible, so you have a huge impact without as much time or physical effort. A leveraged worker can outproduce a non-leveraged worker by, yeah, a factory of 1,000 or 10,000. With a leverage worker, just judgment is far more important than how much time they put in or how hard they work. Forgot 10x programmer, forgot 1000x programmer. Really exit. We just does not full account acknowledge it. See at the IDAA Carmack. I don't know what it is. San Satiso Satoshi Nakamoto, etc. For example, a good software engineer just be writing the right little piece of code and creating the right little application can literally create $500 million worth of value for a company. But 10 engineers working in the 10 times as harder just put the choice, the wrong model, wrong product, wrote it the wrong way, or put it in the wrong virtual loop, have basically wasted their time. Input does not match output exceptionally for leverage workers. What you want in life is to be in control of your life, of your time. You want to get into leverage the job where you control your own time and your tracked on the output. If you do something incredible to move the needle on the business, they have to pay you exceptionally. If they don't know how you do it because it's in a in it. I don't know the word, so I have to search it in a t e innate
Innate.
innate exiting natural or inheritance from birth, not acquired or learned. I forgot where I left. The good software engineer write a piece of code in the what are especially I forgot where I left. So okay, let me read from the start of the paragraph. What you want in the life is to be in control of your time. You want to get into a leveraged job where you can control your own time and tracked on the outputs. If you do something incredible to move the innate neatly on the business, they have to pay you, especially if they don't know how you did it because it's innate. to your obsession or your skill or your innate ability. They are going to have to keep paying you to do it. If you have specific knowledge, you have the accountability and you have the leverage, they have to pay you what you are worth. Once again, innate means exiting naturally or inheriting from birth. Okay, if they pay you what you are worth, then you can get your time back. You can have been hyper efficient. You are doing, you are not doing meeting for meetings sake. You are not taking trying to impress other people. You are not writing things down to make it look like you did work. All you care about is the actual work itself. When you just the actual work itself, when you do just the actual work itself, you will be far more productive, far more efficient. You will your work when you feel like it, when you are high energy, and you won't be trying to struggle through when you are low energy. You will gain your time back. 40 hours work weekly, or like I can't understand this word, ELICE.
Relic.
Relic. What does this mean? An object surviving from an earliest time, especially on one of the historic instant museum of the industrial age. Knowing workers' functions like athletics, training and sprinting them, and then resting a reason. Uh, Sales is an example, especially very high ending sales. If you are a real estate agent out there selling houses, it's not a great job necessarily. It's a very crowded, but if you are the top real estate agent, you know how to market yourself. You know how to market yourself, and you know how to sell houses. It's possibly you could sell 5 million mansion in 1/10 of the time, where somebody else is struggling to sell uh, 10,000 $100 100,000 apartments or condos. A real estate agent is a job with input and output discounts. Building and product and selling any product fits their description. Fundamentally, what else is there? Where you don't necessarily want to be in the support role, like customer service. In the customer service, unfortunately, input and output relatively relate relevantly close to each other, and the hours you put in matters. Total and tools and leverage create this discounted sorry tools and leverage create this disconnection between input and output. Uh, high the higher the creativity component of profession, the more likely it is to have disconnected input and output. If you are looking at a profession where you input and your output are highly connected. I want to read this again because I can't understand. Tools and leverage create this disconnection between inputs and output. The higher the creativity components of the profession, the more likely it is to have a disconnection input and output. If you are looking at the profession where your input and output are highly connected, it's going to be very hard to create a wealth and make wealth for yourself in the process. If you want to be a part of a great tech company, then you need to be able to sell or build. If you don't either do, learn to sell, learn to build. If you can do both, you will be unstoppable. These are the two very broad category. One is building the product. This is hard, and it's multivariate. It can include design, it can include development, it can include manufacturing, logistics, procurement, and it can even be designing. and operating a service. It has many definitions, but in very industry there is a different definition of the building. In our tech industry, it's the CTO, it's the programmer, it's the software engineer or hardware engineer. But even in the laundry business, it could be the person who builds the laundry service, who is making the train running on time, who makes sure all the clothes even up in the right place at the right time, and so on. One side of its sells again. Selling as a very broad definition. Selling doesn't necessarily just mean selling to individual customer. It can mean marketing. It can mean communication. It can mean recruiting. It can mean raising money. It can mean inspiring people. It could mean doing PR. It's a broad umbrella category. Earning with your mind, not your time. Earn with your mind, not your time. Let's talk about the real estate business, the worst kind of job. Just someone who doing labor to repair a house. Maybe you get paid to $10 or $20 an hour. You go to people house. Your boss demands they are at 8 a.m. and you repair your piece of the house. Here you have a zero leverage. You have some accountability, but not really, because your accountability is to your boss, not to the client. You does not have a real specific knowledge. Since what you are doing is the label lot of people can do, you don't going to get paid a lot. You are getting paid minimum wages plus a little bit for your skill and your time. The next time you might be the general constructor working on the house for the owner. They may be getting paid for $50,000 to do the whole project. Then they will pay the labor $15 as a hour. They keeping the difference. The sorry, I said fine, yeah. And general constructor is obviously a better place to be, but how do we measure it? How do we know it's better? Well, we know it's better because the person has had some accountability. They responsibility from the outcome. They have to sweat at night if the things aren't working. Constructor have leverage through labors working for them. They they also have little bit money, more specific knowledge, how to organize a team, make them show up on time, and how to deal with city regulations. Next time, the next level up might be a real estate developer. And developer is someone who going to buy a property, hire a bunch of constructors, and in transfer it into something high value. They probably have to take out a loan to buy a house or get to investor to raise money. They buy the old house, tear it down, rebuild it, and scale it instead of 50,000 likely, like the general constructor, or $50 a hour like the labor. The developer might be able to make $1 million or $500,000 in the profit when they sell the house for more than they brought it for, including the expense of construction. But now notice what is required for the developer: a very high level of accountability. The developer takes more risk, more accountability, has more leverage, and they needed to have more specific knowledge. They need to understand fundraising, city regulation, where the real estate market is headed, and wherever they should take the risk or not. It's more difficult. I want to search about leverage. What does it mean? The the ratio of a company loan capital. No, it's not that. The power to influence a people or a situation. Okay. The next level, the developer might take all this. Yeah, okay. The next level up might be someone who manage money in the real estate fund. They have an enormous amount of capital leverage. They are dealing with lot and lot of developers, and they will buy huge amount of housing investors inventories. One level beyond might be somebody who says, actually, I want to bring the maximum leverage to bear in this market and maximum specific knowledge. The person would say, well, I understood real estate and I understood everything from the basic housing construction to building a property, selling them to how real estate makes more and thrive. And I also understood the technology business. I understood how to re- recruit developers, how to write code, and how to build good product. And I understood how to raise money from venture capital, capitals, capitalists, how to return it, and how all of that works. Obviously not a single person may know this. You may pull a team together to do it where each has a different skill set, but they combine entirely would have specific knowledge specific knowledge in technology and in real estate. It would have massive accountability because the company's name would be a very high risk, high reward effort achieved to the whole thing. Uh, and people would develop their life to it and take out significant risk. It would have leverage in code and a lot of developers. It would have capital with investors putting money in and the founders own capital. It would have some of the higher quality labor you can find, with is a high quality engineer, designer, and the marketers who are working on the company. They then you may end up with truly truly Trulia, Redfin, or Zillow company, and then the upside could potentially be in the billions of dollars, or hundreds of millions of dollars. Each level has an increased leverage, increased accountability, increasingly increasingly specific knowledge. You are adding in money based leverage on the top of leverage. One second. On the top of labor, to be like this. On the top of labor based leverage, adding in a code based leverage on the top of money and the labor allow you to actually create something bigger and bigger and get closer and closer to owning all the upset in, not just being paid a salary. You start a salaried employee, but you want to work your way up to try and get higher leverage, more accountability, a specific knowledge. The combination of those or a long period of time with the magic of compound interest will make you wealthy. And the one thing you have to avoid is the risk of ruin. Avoid ruining means stay out of jail so you don't do anything illegal. It's never worth it to wear an orange jumpsuit. Stay out of total I can't understand. CAP, sorry, C cat is yes. Involving and causing a sudden great danger or surface.
Catastrophic. Catastrophic.
catastrophic. Avoiding ruining could also means you stay out of things that could be physically dangerous or hurt your body. You have to watch your health. Stay out of things that could cause you to lose all of your capital, all of your savings. Don't gamble everything on one go. Instead, take a relative optimistic bet with bigger upscale. Earn with your mind, not your time. Get paid for your judgment. Choosing what kind of job, career, or or field you get into, and what sort of deal you are willing to take for your employee. What give you much more time, free time, then you don't have to worry as much about the time management. I would love to be paid purely for my judgment, not for any work. I want a robot capital or computer to do the work, but I want to be paid for my judgment. I think every human should aspire to be knowledgeable uh, about certain things and be unable to pay for your own unique knowledge. We have as much leverage as is possible in our business wherever it thought robots or computer or what have you. Then we can be master of our own time because we are just being tracked on output and not input. I imagine someone um, uh, comes among who demolishly have slightly better judgment. They are right 85% of the time instead of 75%. You will pay them 300 mil. I can't understand. Imagine someone come along who demonstrate have slightly better judgment. They write per 85% of time instead of 75. You will pay the 50,000, 50 millions, 100 millions, 200 millions, whatever it takes, because 10% better judgment slight at 100 billion SIP is very valuable. CEOs are highly paid because of their leverage. Small companies in judgment and capability really get ap- amplified. A demonstrating back is finding demonstrate judgment. I have to search this word. Demonstrate. Deons.
Demonstrate.
Demonstrate. Okay, I got that. Demonstrate judgment. Credibility around the judgment is so critical. Warren Buffett wins here because he has a massive credibility. He will be the highest accountable. He's been right over and over in the public domain. He's built a reputation for very high integrity. So you can trust him. People will show infinite leverage behind him because of his judgment. Nobody asks him how hard he works. Nobody asks him when he wake up or when he goes to sleep. They are like, warden, just do your thing. Judgment especially demonstrate judgment what with high accountability and clear track record. It's critical. We waste our time with short-term things and busy works. Warren Buffett spent a year, decade, and a day acting like act last decade, just from being marginally better, like running a quarter mil, a fractional of a second fast. Some people get paid a lot more, ordering of magnitude more, leverage magnitude, magnifying those differently, even more, being at the extreme in your art is very important in the age of leverage. Solve via iteration, they get paid via reputation. Prioritize and focus. I have to sorry. Yeah, let's read this. What's the time now? Okay. Prioritize and focus. I encouraged, encountered plenty of bad luck along the way. The first little fortune I made, I instead lost in the stock market. The second little fortune I made or should have made, I basically got cheated out of my business partner. It's only the third time around that have been a charm. Even then, it has been a slow, a steady struggle. I haven't made money in my life in one giant payout. It has always been a whole bunch of small things piling up. It's more about constantly creating wealth by creating businesses, creating opportunities, and creating investments. It haven't been a giant one-off thing. My personally personal wealth has not been great generated by one big year. It's just stacking up a little bit, a few chips at a time, more option, more business, more investors, more things I could do. Thanks to the internet opportunity are massively abundant. In fact, I had too many ways to make money. I don't have enough time. I literally have opportunity pouring out of my ears, and I keep running out of time. There are so many ways to create wealth, to create products, to create businesses, and to get paid by society as byproduct. I just can't handle them all. Value your time at a hourly rate and rastly spend to save all the rate. You will never be worth more than you think you are worth. No one is going to value you more than you value yourself. You just have to get a very high personal hourly rate, and you have to stick it. Even when I was young, I decided to I was worth a lot more than the market thought I was worth, and I started trading myself that way. Always factor your time into every decision. How much time does it take? It's going to take you an hour to get across a town to get something. If you value you are at $1,000 a hour, then basically throw $1,000 out of your pocket, and you going to do that. Are you going to do that? Fast forward to your wealthy self and pick up intermediate hourly rate. For me, believe it or not, back when you could have hired me, which now obviously you can't, but back when you could have hired me, this was true decade ago, or even 2 decades ago, before I had a real money. My hourly rate I used to say myself over and over is $5,000 an hour. Today, when I look back, really it was about thou- thousand and half. Of course, I still end up doing stupid things like arguing with the electrician or uh, returning the broken speaker, but I shouldn't have, and I just did a lot lose less than an of my friend would. I would make a threat, theatrical show out of throwing something in the trash bill or giving it to Salvation Army rather than trying to return it, or uh, handling someone to people rather than trying to fix it. Uh, I would argue with my girlfriends, and even today it's my wife. I don't do that. That's not a problem that then I solve. I still argue that with my mom when she hands me a little to do. I just don't do that. I would rather hire you an assistant. This was truly even when I didn't have money. This was true even when another way was of thinking something is if you can outsource something or not do something for less than you hardly rate outside outsource it or do it if you can hire somebody to do it for less than you hardly rate hire them then even include things like cooking you might want to eat your healthy home cooked meal but if you can outsource it do it instead set a very high, highly aspirational rate for yourself and stick to it. It should seem to feel absolutely high. If it does not, it's not high enough. Whatever you pick, make advice to your you would be able to raise it like it says for myself even before I had money for a long time I used $5,000 an hour and if you extrapolate extrapolate then out into what it looks like an annual salary is multiplied millions of dollars per year. Ironically, I actually think I would beaten it. I'm not the hardest working person. I'm actually a lazy person. I work through bursts of energy when I am really motivated with someone if I actually look at how much I earned per actual hour that I will put in it's probably quite a bit harder than that. I would say it's 31 minutes. Let's stop here. We read till page number 52 till this. So yeah. So what I learned today. So we started from page number 60, half a bit to page number 72. So the author talk about leverage. So building a leverage. So basically, he says in any kind of business, if a worker is earning $15 per hour and the manager is earning a lot of money than him, and the hierarchy of people how they earn money using their leverage and the money they're earning is get higher and higher as the leverage increases. And secondly, he said, try to have a not try to um, decide your value for your heart, like decide your amount of money. Sorry, I can't articulate this properly. Basically, what is trying to say that you should decide how much money you should charge for a hour. Like, what is the money? Basically, what's your money time? Oh, basically, how much you should get paid for a hour. Yeah. So try to set a very high aspirational money aspect, and if some work is going to like if some work is done in lesser than your hourly rate, so you can hire a person or take a leverage and make it done by somebody else, and you can focus on something more important to you and more valuable to you. And this is what he said till now and what I understood from this. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Take care.